Hello, I'm Diane Goodmanson. I work with senior healthcare leaders who can see instability in their systems, but struggle to reach the real cause. Most leaders today are dealing with the same set of problems. Communication that breaks down between the layers, accountability conversations that don't seem to land, middle levels that feel defensive or overloaded, and retention numbers that refuse to stabilize no matter how many initiatives are introduced. From the outside, these problems look separate, but they usually aren't. They are connected, and they tend to come from something deeper inside the system. Most organizations try to fix performance at the bottom. They add new policies, new training, maybe some new accountability frameworks. But performance is not where the instability begins. Performance is the final output of the system. It's what we see. But by the time problems show up there, the conditions that have produced them have often been active for months, maybe even years. So every healthcare organization actually runs on two systems at the same time: the visible system and the invisible system. The visible system is what we normally talk about. That's policies, reporting structures, training programs, performance targets. But underneath that is the invisible system. That is where the communication patterns live, where psychological safety is shaped, where accountability either flows or somehow quietly disappears, and where leaders often unintentionally create conditions that create how the whole system functions, especially when under pressure or stress. The invisible system is usually the one producing the outcomes. So over time, I began to see that instability follows a pattern. It starts at the level of leadership identity, how leaders respond under pressure. That shapes psychological safety, which affects how information flows. And that communication pattern shapes culture. And culture eventually shows up as performance and retention outcomes. And so this is what I call the leadership performance cascade. When you understand the architecture or the design of that cascade, you can begin to see where intervention actually creates leverage. And this is not at the surface level, but this is at the structural level where the pattern actually begins. And so that's the focus of my work, is helping leaders see the architecture underneath the outcomes that their systems are producing. And this way, we can identify where structural changes can stabilize communication, accountability, and performance across the whole organization or department. If this perspective resonates with what you're seeing in your system or department or organization, there's two ways to explore further. Firstly, you can request an executive briefing, which I have the link below, which explains this framework in more detail. Or you can request a one-on-one leadership systems clarity review with me, where we look directly at the patterns present inside your system specifically. Either way, I am glad that you found your way here.